All right, so this video is to explain how to upgrade an application uh, from one WinDev version or WebDev version to another. And these are the basic steps we take. Every app has to be done this way. Our goal is to have a backup and to have a branch. And so what we'll do is you'll go through the SEM. In this case, I'm going to upgrade the DX price service. I've already done the components, so we'll jump down to the service. Grab that. And sometimes this takes a minute or two to load, but what you want to make sure you do, I always uncheck this. I have no idea why it would default that on. You want to make sure that your path is set. Something I learned is in the SEM admin, if you go set it, it seems like from there on, it defaults this properly everywhere you work. So that's always a good thing. So if you have questions about that, ask me. And so I'm going to go ahead and say okay to that. Now, this is really important. We want to take everything and overwrite the content. That way, if you have any changes you didn't commit, it doesn't matter at this point. We're upgrading it, and so we're going to take what's in the SCM and upgrade it. So we're going to do overwrite. Now, once this comes up again, give it a second to load. Once it's loaded, it should by default check the create branch in the SCM with a former project. You'll see the backup file it's going to create. Now that's going to be on your local, and that's fine. What we really want is to make sure this branch gets created. So we're going to hit OK to that. Okay, so this is where it gets pretty important. So one of the things I would encourage you to do is go create a this folder. I just made one called branches v28. That's going to match the SCM uh, path, or it's going to look similar to the SCM path for all of our branches. So just make sure you've created that. By default, just use the version number in here. That's all you need. It will default on the first one you ever do. It'll probably come in with like backup, v28. Something. It'll have a longer name. Just shorten it to v28. Um, you'll look down here. These are still all your local directories and the local paths and all that good stuff. Nothing has to change down here. Now the next screen is where you'll want to change this. It defaults to my projects. So I'm going to copy and paste my new path in. Again, I'm just replacing the first half of that, leaving everything else alone. Actually, that's wrong. Hang on. It's not going to matter. So I'm just going to leave that alone. Typically, this would follow the same pathing, but I don't know that that matters too much because my local copy I don't really care about. As long as it's in the SEM and it's in the normal layout, which it should default to, you should be fine. You'll notice it's current TCS Technologies Typewriter Suite services and then the name. You're gonna not check my local version for any of this stuff. You're gonna let it do everything, find the shares, all that good stuff. Now, this will take, according to how large the project is, this is going to take a little while. And so you're pretty much just along for the ride at this point. And what it'll do is it will create the branch, back up all the copies, and all that good stuff. And when you're done, honestly, you could just delete the local branch directory. That's only going to be used if we have to go back and pull something and be able to open it in an older version. That's what that branch is for. So if something goes wrong in 28 and we have to still compile in 25, we would have that. You'll notice down here it just said branch was completely successfully created. So you have your branch in the repository, which is awesome. Okay, so once it's done, it opens up. You'll see it has everything checked out. Um, Something you'll want to keep an eye on is a lot of times when you open these up, if there are any warnings, you'll get all the standard compile warnings, and if a skin is out of date, you want to update that. So the goal here is basically to make sure that there are no errors, there are no warnings, and so you can just go ahead. In this case, there's nothing. The last one I had, like, it had an image that wasn't in the application directory, and so I went ahead and fixed that, copied it in there, relinked it, all that's good. So you get different warnings as they enhance their warning detection. So, and that should be it. So again, you'll just walk through any warnings, fix anything that you run into. Okay, thanks.